Hi, I'm Anna Ward, the founder of CakeDrop. CakeDrop is an office cake delivery company. We deliver cakes from independent bakeries in London to London offices for employee birthdays, work perks, general cake day, incentives, rewards, meetings, events, anything you could possibly need cake in the office for. We came up with the idea. My sister is my business partner, the co-founder, and we discussed it for a long time. We were both working in London offices. She worked in PR, I worked in advertising, and cake day was always so badly done. You knew it was a colleague's birthday. At 10 to 9 it was like, oh my god, it's blah blah's birthday, we're going to run to Sainsbury's, get a mass-produced rubbish cake and shove it on their desk. And it always felt such a shame that it was a really good opportunity for the company to shine and just spend that extra effort or money on making that birthday experience really nice for them in the office. And there's so many independent, amazing bakeries in London, and the offices just aren't using them. So we've got tens, hundreds of thousands of office workers in the city that aren't connected with these independents who have amazing businesses and are making amazing cakes, and we're opting for Colin the Caterpillar. My sister and I, we discussed it, how great would it be, and we could do this, and I guess we got really excited about how would we do it. And the more we spoke about it, the more it became really viable. Yeah, we put a business plan together, and eventually I left my job to go full time and completely set up. And yeah, that was pretty much the idea, from being an office worker myself and seeing that there was a need to connect the amazing bakeries and create joy in the office through cake. I suppose it's the fact that I'm young, I have nothing to lose, I'm generation rent, I couldn't buy a house anyway, so it felt like I had a small amount of savings, and what are they going to do, just sit there while I try and save and never make up the money I'm going to need for a deposit? I suppose it was a bit, what does my future hold anyway? How can I best use my time? And also, I loved working in an office. I'm so not one of these people who became an entrepreneur because I hated the 9 to 5, but I always had this urge to do everything, and I felt like that's someone else's job, but I want to have a say in that, and I want to be doing this, and I want to see the whole. And so I knew I had a passion to be involved in every element of a business from start to finish, and yeah, just take control of something myself and know that every idea I had I could implement without asking someone and it going through 10 people. There's really no routine, but morning is getting to the hub where we take all the delivery of cakes, checking each one, labelling them all up, packaging them all nicely, deciding which is going to what office, and then loading the bikes. So originally I was doing all the deliveries on our cake trikes. I'd load up the trike, plan my route, and off I went. Now we've got 2 riders who help me, so loading them up. Usually we have deliveries done by 12ish, and so I'll go back to the office to do sort of admin-y, the standard admin-y bits, speaking to customers, sales, everything under the social media, getting everything planned. So yeah, mornings are deliveries, afternoon is focusing on the business. You sign up to a package, so however many you'll need over a month, a year, however long you want to span it. So we've got offices have signed up for every employee birthday. They've bought a package that suits how many employees they've got. They get access to their own online calendar where they can schedule their drops. So some offices have the whole year and they've got every employee done, and then the office manager has not got to think about it again. We turn up with a surprise cake, unless you've told us we want vegan, gluten-free. Some offices just have every Wednesday, so they schedule it all in, 50 weeks of the year. And then others have a package, and every so often they think, we fancy a cake next week, or we've got that important client coming in next week. So it's not a subscription as such, but it's a package model, and you get access to your own calendar. So you don't have to leave the office, you don't have to source a bakery, even you don't have to choose the flavour of your cake. And at first, customers are a bit like, but we kind of want to choose. But we say, if we let you choose, you'll choose a red velvet every time or a chocolate every time. But if you let us choose, you'll be trying something different every time, something you might not know you liked. Choice is amazing, but sometimes it's overwhelming and you end up having the most boring thing to please everyone. And we're trying to say, have these amazing mango and passion fruit or sticky toffee cake, things that are made by these bakers and they've put their soul and love into creating these amazing flavours and perfecting it. We want you to try it. And on the back of that, We want you to then visit that bakery at the weekend. We want you to say, they're based at Borough Market. I'm going to go to Borough Market on Saturday and I'm going to try something else of theirs. Weather. It's been hot recently and keeping buttercream cool is tough. We've got a temperature controlled trike and obviously we do things as early as we can, but we've got the same challenges that any food business would have, especially with delivery. We're working with other independent small businesses, so they need notice from us. They can't have wastage, we can't have wastage, no one can afford wastage, so we don't have excess. We get a lot of customers who may say, I just need a cake now. We can't do that at the moment because we don't have bakeries who have frozen cakes or buttercream made up in batch. So that's our challenge at the moment, is a lot of people want to do, I need a cake now, and we're not quite ready for that. The model is built around, let's plan your birthdays for the year, let's plan your celebrations. Money worries, I suppose, keeping the business afloat, relying on other people. So all our bakeries are so reliable and brilliant, but you do worry, did they get that order from me? Or I've ordered 10 cakes, but what if they only accidentally made 9? Has an office put in a cake for Monday and they meant to do it for Tuesday and we'd have ruined one of their birthday? That's a difficult one because a lot of people trialled in the beginning with just one cake. In terms of the first ever package, that was a company called CNC Search, who are a recruitment company, and they were really sold on the idea because they are a female founded business and they like supporting other independent businesses. They were already doing cakes for birthdays. It was just a great solution for them to not always run out of the office, be organising cake, to just know that it was sorted and it was going to arrive. So yeah, they're still with us. Oh, that's such a great question. I think there is a huge demand for this sort of business in somewhere like Sydney. They love cake. I would just go and set up in Sydney as well. We'd be able to probably do the whole of London. We do zone 1 and 2 at the moment. We'd be all over the tubes advertising. I'd love to do a tube campaign, but it's expensive, risky. We'd probably have more variety in the way that maybe we would diversify into other types of office deliveries. Not going to say actually, because I don't want to give them away. The business is growing steadily, so I never feel the need for to do something huge, but I suppose we'd diversify into other cities that have kind of a high penetration of offices in a small area. Websites. We've got a web developer and someone who can help, but if you want something done instantly, sometimes I just YouTube it. It's endless, it's so confusing. Sometimes something breaks on the website, I can't understand why. I would love to go back to my 16-year-old self and learn to code. Yeah, websites. I love accounting. Anything to do with accounting I love. I could spend ages doing cash flow forecasts and then remember that I need to actually get on with productive things. Anything else I really don't like? No, I'd say websites. Everything else I enjoy. Since starting CakeDrop, it's having this really strong purpose that I love the joy it causes, and sometimes I can have a bad day delivering because something goes wrong and I struggle on the bike or whatever, but when I get back to the office and Instagram pops up and one of the offices have recorded them all singing happy birthday, or I think that's so worth it. Or even when I walk into an office with a cake and everyone gathers round, everyone's so excited. I live for that because we are bringing joy into offices when everyone's sitting working and the cake arrives and the apprehension of cake day, and it's so exciting. When I talk to people on the phone or potential offices, they want to talk to me because they want to talk about cake, and that's really nice, selling something that really does create joy. And then the drive, I suppose, also comes from the future I want, which is freedom, to know that I can manage my own time, manage my own productivity, eventually have a team, and just have choices, to know that I can spend time with my family when I need to spend time with my family. I can have my own family and I can be there when I need to be there. Just freedom. Yeah, it's become less about money. Obviously we need to bring in cash to keep going, but when I started it was a dream big. Could I make lots of money out of this? And now my priorities have changed, which is I enjoy running this so much. We need to stay alive, but what's the minimum I can make to stay alive and just carry on this way? It's not really about getting rich. It works quite well. So she does everything which is PR based, writing, anything content-y, social media. She does a lot of stuff that you can do from behind a desk, and that's her strength. The other nice thing working with Nicola is that I'm very decisive and impulsive, where she's quite analytical and will take time to make decisions. So it works really well, because when I want to rush to put something out there, she says, no, let's think about what we're really doing, why we're doing it, how we can do it best. And although I'm like raring to go, she holds me back. And then sometimes when she's cautious, it takes me to be like, we've just got to put it out there and hope for the best, sort of thing. So it complements quite nicely. I'm reading at the moment a book called Shoe Dog. I don't know if you've read it. Yeah, by the co-founder of Nike. That's really inspiring me at the moment, because it's someone who was as clueless as I was in the beginning, you know, and it gives you hope that these people aren't all just geniuses like Elon Musk, Steve Jobs. That really inspires me, that everyone's just on this rocky road and is just trying to survive and trying to work it out. Jo Malone, because it felt really like humble beginnings, really nice. I mean, it made me a bit jealous because her business is so nice with the face creams and candles. But I don't think there's one person in particular I look at and think, because every entrepreneur I read about is so different. The fact they just say yes to everything. They just take every opportunity that comes their way, even if they're not 100%, they know how they're going to do it yet. So it's reassurance that you do have to push yourself outside your comfort zone, and sometimes you'll get a customer who says, can you do this for us, and can you do it on this time scale, and you just have to think, there is a way I could do that. I've never done it before, but there will be a way I can do it, and just say yes and throw yourself into that panic mode. I'd like it to be usual to walk through a street in London and see a CakeDrop bike go past. I'd really love that, like you just see a delivery go past. I'd like it to be a really known thing. Oh, we do CakeDrop in our office. Do you do CakeDrop in your office? I'd like it to be a really known work perk, and have a brand that was really, I know everyone probably wants this, but really funky and cool, and that people want, you know, they want CakeDrop in their office. That's a really great thing to have. It's like an asset to work somewhere where they do CakeDrop. It just grows, just to be able to service most of London. Money. And also it's taking it one step at a time. We're only a year in, and I want to learn how this works. So you know, the first year was about proving the business model. It was about nailing the operations, getting everything efficient. You know, I'd never run a business before, let alone a delivery business where I had to work out the operations, and I'm not a baker. Growth had to be steady, taking on a few offices at a time and building up so that we could comfortably grow. Otherwise, we would have thrown ourselves into a situation where we had too many offices on board and we would start doing a bad job. So while it's just a few of us in the business, it's been focused on getting that cake there on time, making sure it's amazing, making sure it's in perfect condition, and making sure we don't miss an order. So I suppose time, that we've been relatively cautious. If I look into a year, 2 years' time, then that's when I'll be more comfortable seeking investment and taking it to a much bigger level. I've learned that I'm very productive between the hours of 5:30 and 12, and I'm not particularly productive between 12 and 4, and then I'm very productive from 4. So I think if I had to go back to an office job, I'd have to go somewhere with flexible working, because I think I now know that I would be useless between 12 and 4. I can do admin-y bits like I do, but yeah, paying invoices and that sort of thing, but producing really good work. I think I've changed because I came from a busy office of lots of young people where we had loads going on, we chatted all day, we had fun, and then I was on my own, and that was a massive shock to the system where I was like, oh, I haven't seen anyone in 48 hours and I'm just going to go to Waitrose so I can speak to a staff member. And now I'm just so comfortable working on my own that I wonder if I'd struggle going back to working with loads of people. I've learned that I can adapt. I've learned that I'm very conscientious. I'm not a perfectionist by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm very conscientious. I want to make sure that everything is done the best it can be. So I want everyone to have that view that every customer is important. It doesn't matter if they're just having one cake or they're a customer who signed up to 200 cakes in a year. I just want everyone to have an amazing experience when they email us, when they ring us, when we turn up at the office. Very early on, if anything went remotely off plan or wrong, my first reaction was to well up, to cry, and now I've learned don't cry, it will waste time. So that is a great thing that's happened, but I just don't cry anymore when things go wrong. I know that every single bad day I've had has made CakeDrop better up till now, and I know it sounds so cliche, but I look back on all the mistakes I've made or the things that have gone wrong, and I'm so glad they've happened, because now it won't happen again, and now I know how to deal with it. So every time I have a bad day now, it's like, great, this has happened now and it's not going to happen next year, and we've learned to deal with it. So it's just, we've built contingency with everything that's gone wrong or everything I've struggled with. It's made me have to think this can't happen again, or if it does happen that XYZ happens, this is what we do. I suppose I'm grateful for the bad days now. It's just a learning curve, yeah. Some of the people who have ordered from us, and it's so sad because they asked for confidentiality, but we got to deliver cake to a really, like, a celebrity family, and that was great. It was just validation. That was a really proud day, and I don't think I did any work after I delivered the cake. I just walked around and feeling great. So that's really important, to sometimes just take a step back and think we did really well today. So recently I've been so lucky to be put on a business accelerator program called Super Campus. It's run by Super Academy and the Office Group, and there are 50 of us. We have office space, and every Monday and Wednesday we have someone come in to talk to us. We have a different theme, whether it's law, marketing, accounting, leadership, and we've had some great people come to speak to us. That's really inspiring. But in terms of the network, working with all these different businesses, some people are just embarking on the journey, some entrepreneurs a couple of years ahead of me, and it's just been so great just to share skills as well, and people who are brave enough to tell you what you're doing wrong or tell you what you haven't thought about, because I think some people can be a bit nervous to say, have you thought about offering this, or have you thought about putting this on your website, because they don't want to look like they're undermining you. It's really nice to speak to people who just come up to you and say, I looked at your website yesterday and I think you should include this because this wasn't very clear, and it's just, oh, great. So, you know, every day I feel like I get a nugget of advice from someone and then pass it forward. So it's been so valuable. So there's a couple of things. We're trying to make the experience way better. So we're trying to improve our packaging, make it more exciting, so there's a bit more of an unboxing experience in the offices. We are just putting add-ons onto our website because we noticed a lot of our customers have been asking for things like candles. So making that possible, making that easier for them, so then it's just a whole package. And then also reflecting on the year and planning and getting the business ready to apply for investment. I think that's the biggest thing we're working on at the moment. We actually ran a Kickstarter campaign in December last year where we raised 10k. There was no equity in that because Kickstarter is all about rewards, so it was for officers who want to sign up for a year's worth of cake, get a good deal, or a one-off exciting cake and that sort of thing. And yeah, it ran for 4 weeks and we raised 10k because it's all or nothing. It was tough. It was really tough, and I think if I could do it again, I mean, you can only be so prepared, but I think you need to have people lined up ready to invest, which we didn't. We just went for it and hoped for the best. You've got to have a whole marketing campaign around it. I think there is a belief that you could chuck something on Kickstarter and people will naturally go, oh, that's a good idea, here's a tenner, here's 50 quid. It does not happen. It's like getting customers. What's rebellious about me is that I say what I think, no matter who the person is or how important they are. I wish I didn't have any rent to pay. I'm going to buy a house outright and laugh at everyone who told me you shouldn't start a business because you'll never get a mortgage.